they correct the iron deficiency. But the problem is that we do not have a long-term solution, given that even after the correction of the iron deficiency, the periods are still going on.
Today, I have the pleasure to welcome in the studio Dominika Repcikova. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
It's a pleasure to have you. I invited you because you are both studying for your PhD. It's a very impressive one because it's biopsychology and immunogenetics. But at the same time, you are working together with my friend Pranjul to develop your own startup. It's called the Iron Bar.
Yes.
So let's jump right into it. Can you present the Iron Bar in a few words?
Sure. Very short, in the Iron Bar, we are developing functional nutritional snacks for women that contain 100% of the recommended daily dose of iron. And this idea emerged from a personal story where I was struggling with recurring iron deficiency and stuck in a cycle of being diagnosed, being put on treatment, developing the anemia again. So I found myself thinking that what if I could replace my snacks with something that is loaded with iron? Because I knew that I was not getting enough iron from my diet, and that was not a possibility for me.
Just to clarify here, you're also referring to the fact that women have their period, and of course, in this process, they tend to lose more iron, and this is exactly what you're targeting.
Exactly. Whenever the iron deficiency came back to me, I was kind of tired of going through the same cycle. So I was just trying to, get an iron boost from snacking, from things I could find in the supermarket. So I got Googling and I didn't find anything like that. So I created a product like that. So that is how the Iron Bar was born.
And I think it's a popular myth that the spinach will do it. I don't think there's a lot of iron.
You would have to eat, there is a lot of iron in spinach, but you would have to eat a lot of spinach. So to put things into perspective a little bit, to get the 15 to 18 milligrams of iron that an average woman needs to have in a day, you would have to eat anywhere from 5 to 8 steaks, depending on the size in a day. So that's obviously not possible for most people.
Absolutely. Well, one thing I was very interested to hear about, the University of Luxembourg was created now 22 years ago in 2003. And we all understand that a great source for innovation in the world has always been universities. We see it, of course, in America. We see it in China. We see it everywhere. So are we going to see it in Luxembourg? So can you share with us how basically are you combining your PhD work and your entrepreneurship journey?
Yes, so it can be a challenge indeed in terms of time. So you only have 24 hours in a day, but basically you have 2 major things in your life happening. And also intellectually a little bit, if I am in my scientist mode, if I'm working with data, writing a manuscript, like really brainstorming on my research project, and then I have to switch into business mode, which is partially a different world. I find it exhausting sometimes, even though I have gotten better at it as the time has passed. But another thing is that there is a lot of possibility to leverage if you're doing a PhD. So the PhD, especially in my personal case at the University of Luxembourg, does not only teach you how to be a scientist, how to do your research, but it teaches you so many other valuable skills such as time management, people management. My PhD is very hands-on. That means I get to own a lot of the processes which are happening. A lot is in my own hands, which comes with a lot of responsibility. And you can when you learn that responsibility, you can extrapolate it on whatever else you're doing. So I would say, I would advise anyone to start a business when they are doing a PhD. It can be something intimidating for most people, but I say it can be the best experience that you ever make.
Yeah, let's dig a little bit deeper. So I'm not going to dig into the PhD part. As you explained, I'm sure it's giving you the structure that you can transfer to your entrepreneurship life. But let's go and have a look at the support you can get. So we know that Pranjul is in charge of anything linked to the incubation of ideas. What is the full ecosystem supporting entrepreneurs in a university?
So when you have a business idea, you go to the incubator, and this is something I found, I think, just by, Googling the university. Okay, does the university have an incubator? Because obviously I knew that universities do have things like this. And the University of Luxembourg Incubator offers a lot of courses. They are even doing their separate curriculum, I think, for bachelor or master students or both, not sure. And you can do anything. You can go take a course. You can, go take a look at a panel discussion. I was one of the panelists last week, and then you just go there, you see others who have graduated or who are doing their degree at the University of Luxembourg, and you can hear their experience, and then you want more hands-on support, so you share your idea with them, and they will walk you through every single step of the way. So this is what you need to do first. Are you in the ideation phase? Okay, do you already have an idea? Do you need to start conceptualizing your MVP, minimum viable product? They can walk you through that. They have a couple of really amazing programs, such as the summer school, where you bring your idea, you bring whatever you have. If you have like a little business plan already, that's great, but basically you just really need an idea. You really need to think it through, and they challenge you. They invite experts from all over the world. For example, last year there was Professor Ted Zoller from the University of North Carolina, and they bring their own expertise, and they support you from the very initial ideation stage to basically when you're market ready. We are currently in the stage of MVP early traction, and we started collaboration with the incubator when we were in the ideation stage. So this is how far we have come already.
Okay, so in the ideation phase, we talked before the interview, you also mentioned that sometimes professors become business partners, sometimes they become employees.
Yes.
Again, it loops back to some what we've seen in America. I think one of the first investors of Google was one of the teachers. So that's a fantastic way to learn and improve the project. But let's talk about money. So if I go through the stream, as a PhD person, you receive money from the university. Then I guess you would like subsidies. And I guess you would like to raise funds maybe with investors. And of course, I guess you want to find paying clients. So how are you addressing the whole spectrum of potential financing sources?
Right. So that largely depends on how much you're raising. And that also varies between what kind of domain you are in. We are in CPGs, consumer packaged goods, and we are traditionally not raising as much as, for example, any old tech startup, which look at a couple of hundred of thousands upwards. We are raising much less than that. And then,
so how much are you raising right now?
Well, we are across 2 rounds. We are raising 40,000 and 160,000.
And the idea of those phases, I would guess, is to produce the first bars.
To produce a large batch. So the first bars are already produced. We have made them. We have bootstrapped all the way until here. And to really go to mass production, to hit the markets, we need a little bit more money, which we have managed to acquire from a business development fund. So it's a loan. It's a couple of thousands that we were short. So we will be able to proceed with that large batch. And then we really need to just go do it and see what happens. Okay. And that is a go do it and see what happens is the status quo for a lot of emerging businesses. So then also when it comes to financing, because if you traditionally what you do and what you also get taught at the incubator is that you really have to put all your figures down. You really have to work out what is everything going to cost, and normally even the best approximation isn't reality, and in reality everything costs a little bit more than what you expected. And then you go to investors, and then the investor or angel or VC game begins. So you talk to a lot of people, you cold call, cold email a lot of people. Most of the time you get no's, which is perfectly normal, and then it's a numbers game, you get the odd yes.
Of course. So we went through the fundraising, as you said, it's still a reasonable amount. What about subsidies?
Yes, state subsidies are better in Luxembourg than anywhere else in my experience, so I have to say that. But they are also very competitive, which is a normal development. If you're a country that has a lot to offer, such as Luxembourg, then you will have a lot of people trying to, get their hands on it. And we are running into a challenge that in Luxembourg, state subsidies are heavily tech focused, which I understand because tech is really the emerging domain of this day and age, and I love tech. I use it every day, and I absolutely can see the value of tech for now, and especially AI for the future. And then as a non-tech kind of business, it takes a little bit more convincing of people. So there are ways how to get state subsidies, but usually also you have to be bigger than an emerging business. So you have to prove a little bit more traction. You have to have a little bit higher recurring revenue than someone who is just starting out in early traction, because the funds being so competitive, they're also doing a lot of doing their homework on who really deserves to be subsidized.
Just a little question. If I'm a 17-year-old girl, how do I measure my iron levels? Do I need to go to the lab, or can I do it myself with a little device?
There are little devices which work with the blood drop that measure the level of hemoglobin, which is the biomarker which determines whether you have normal levels of iron in your system or lower levels. Usually it happens through a normal doctor's appointment.
You still need to go to the lab. You cannot do it yourself.
You can technically, and there is a Dutch supermarket chain. I don't know if they're still selling it, but back in my day in the Netherlands, they used to sell this little blood drop kit where you just prick your finger, get a blood drop, run it through the cassette, and it will show you the level of your hemoglobin. It's not accurate. Medically, it does not replace the assessment done by your doctor in your doctor's office. So usually what happens is that either you get symptoms of iron deficiency, which is fatigue, mental fog, things like anxiety, for example, panic attacks, shortness of breath, or the effect that many women know that they stand up from sitting, everything goes dark, and you have to sit back down. So you go to the doctor because apparently this is not normal. The doctor will, based on the symptoms, assume that you might be at risk of iron deficiency. You get your blood drawn, and that's how it's found out. And then traditionally you get iron medication, prescription grade iron pills that you take anywhere from between 1 month to 3 months, and they correct the iron deficiency. But the problem is that we do not have a long-term solution, given that even after the correction of the iron deficiency, the periods are still going on. So any average woman still keeps losing the iron every month, and as far as the science is right now, this is the best way we have. So you get diagnosed, you get put on therapy, you finish the therapy, a couple of months later the anemia is back.
Very good. Just quick idea, if the market needs you to be a tech company, maybe you should just develop a small app. And then you tick the box. Yeah. You still promote your own iron bar, but that could be a way to just enhance the experience, basically.
We have experimented with apps. What could we do? There is one app, even though it is difficult to gauge the accuracy of these apps, which, based on the coloration of your fingernail when you push on it, can, using AI, approximate whether your iron levels are good, healthy, or not. I would be careful with these, because then you also have to really look at the medical claims that you're able to make. In the European Union is very strict, which I 100% support, because you cannot just go out there and claim anything you want to. So even with our product, which demonstrably has an active ingredient in it, we still cannot say certain things,
of course.
Which might imply medical use.
And even in Luxembourg, you would have the Collège Médical on your back extremely fast, and it's quite brutal every time.
Right. So what we say, and this is what our product does, it boosts iron. We do not legally say that it's going to prevent iron deficiency or stop iron deficiency or cure it. We say it boosts your iron, and that's what it does. So cycling back to tech, currently the accuracy is a little bit of a problem.
Very good. Last thing we did not explore is the market. I mean, you can also just skip the subsidies. You told me you just created a batch and go to market. So the good thing, of course, it's a recurring client. She will stay with you for 20 years at least. How are you addressing this market? Are you going through social networks? Are you going at schools? What do you do?
A combination of a couple of things. So we do have some budget that we put towards advertising, classic advertising, such as Facebook ads, Instagram ads. We also aim to work a lot with influencers, because we feel they have the most access to the primary customer, who is a young woman who is health conscious, lifestyle conscious. She's looking at other women who are promoting healthy lifestyle, fitness, and things like that. We are also very active in the community, so we go to events, we present our products at some opportunities that we get, which has proven to be a great thing because that's where we get the most direct feedback. That's where we get the most direct customer feedback in terms of I go somewhere and I present the product and I get at least 1 or 2 women coming up to me after saying that this is so great, when can I buy this? When is it going to hit the market? When am I going to find it in the supermarket? So that's really great.
So how much is a bar?
€3.10.
Okay, so nothing problematic. Are you planning to get it reimbursed by the Social Security at one stage?
That's probably not going to be possible because our products are not medical grade products and therefore cannot be used as medical grade products, therefore are only fortified foods, and I don't think that the CNS reimburses that.
Yeah, the good news is still that I know this younger generation is eating a lot of supplements.
Yes.
I see they order powders, they go to the gym. So I think you fit into this aspiration to take care of their body and give it whatever it needs to perform at a good level.
The supplement and fortified foods market are growing by 4%, 4 to 7%, so that's a very healthy growth. And I believe that it also has to do with the recent pandemic where we became much more aware of our health, and health information has become much more accessible to us. Now you see, I'm personally not on TikTok, but I know that young people are looking at content that informs them about their health, like and things that you can use on a daily basis, such as foods, such as recipes, to really help prevent diseases. And also, people, there is a very, very interesting shift that has happened that I read in an article, that people are expecting more from food. People are no longer, there is this trend of people, especially young people, like you're saying, no longer eating food for, like we all used to, because it's nice, it tastes good, and it stops me from being hungry, but they are expecting added value.
Yeah, not the German conception of Lebensmittel.
Yes.
a way to survive, and they expect more from it. Let's just conclude maybe with the opportunity in a few words, and maybe the risk in a few words.
The opportunity is, like you said, that there is a large uptick in supplement taking. Supplements also come with their downsides. So of course you can find all kinds of supplements with iron in the pharmacies, which also range from 15 to 18 milligrams per capsule, and that is what you usually find, capsules. Very rarely you can find also drops and powders, but usually it's capsules. And consumers have issues with capsules because, first of all, some people are finding them difficult to swallow, and it's not a very pleasant experience generally. You also tend to forget it all the time because you have like this big box of capsules and it's lying somewhere in your bathroom cabinet.
It's very medical.
And there is this medical connotation around it. So we are doing iron as a cool, tasty, available, enjoyable lifestyle choice. Snack.
What about the risk?
The risk, of course, is larger companies taking over this concept, but we do have our moat. So I'm not worried too much about that, but it's necessary to mention this as well. And well, other thing that we have faced is the regulations. So you really have to comply with all kinds of regulations, which are much stricter within the European Union than overseas in the US. But it's also something that is completely doable because you can, a lot of these risks you can mitigate by, for example, working with a already EU-approved manufacturer that already works with EU-approved compounds. So you only need to register the final products, and you have to, for example, at Luxembourg specific, you have the ALVA, which is the Authority for Food Safety. You have to kind of let them know that you are bringing this on the Luxembourgish market. What they do is they take samples from the supermarket, they do not tell you, they test them, and if the product is dangerous in any way, they will pull it from the markets. We very much hope that this is not going to happen, and we do not expect it to happen because we are prepared. So that is another challenge. Another challenge is people kind of having too high expectations. So we have to really stress that this is not a medicine. This is only something that will boost your iron, not only on a day-to-day basis, but like a couple of days throughout the week or throughout the month. And that's really all that the product can do. And well, yeah.
We'll focus on the opportunities. So just to conclude, I'm glad to see that at the university we have now several projects who are starting to spin off. I have also Magritte in mind, which is quite promising. So I just hope that you can leverage the best of all the ecosystem in the university, and also the best of all the ecosystem in the real world, the real economy, and make the Iron Bar a success. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. I hope so too. Thank you.
Thank you.